Welcome back to glorious Elysium. When we left off, we had just discovered Europe and had a look at what was going on over there, all sorts of crazy things. I guess this time around, we're not really going to have to deal with Castile, because they barely exist, which kind of feels good. Castile has wronged me in many a game, so seeing them cut down to size makes me feel good. The Portuguese, though, they may also... Wait a minute, I was going to say they may also be getting cut down to size, but it seems they're in a personal union with England. I don't think I noticed that last time. I guess we're going to have to confront the big England-Portugal alliance as they colonize our sacred lands. How awful. I suppose we'll cross that bridge as we come to it. We're mainly just going to continue colonizing up here, gain control of this coast, and then along here and up the Californian coast. We want to cut off the Spartans and anyone else from colonizing in that direction. I'm also thinking about our direction. In this mod, there are 3 directions we can go: green, red, blue. We can do all of them, but which one we start with is really the most important. I think most people go green, just focuses on conquering all of Elysium and building a new empire there. Then I think some people go red, reclaiming Rome and subjugating all of Europe. And only really crazy people go blue. We're going to go blue. I actually think blue is the most overpowered of the 3 options, and I hopefully will be able to show that off. We need to do a few things to get to our blue status, though. We need to turn the Elysium trade node into the most valuable one in the world. It's already quite high at 14, but we're going to need to essentially double that to defeat Genoa with their 30. Or we can simply achieve an income of 100 ducats a month. We'll see which happens soonest. One thing we are going to have to do is engage with one of this mod's mechanics. There's all these provinces that aren't trade centers, but they can become trade centers by developing them. We're going to need to create a lot of, well, maybe not a lot, but at least 4 of these potential trade centers are going to need to become trade centers. We'll see how things go. Shouldn't be too difficult. Another thing we have to worry about is colonialism. Unfortunately, it's going to be hard to get colonial spread in our lands, just because we don't have access to any of the ways that it normally spreads. One thing we can do is ask someone for knowledge sharing. It looks like the Portuguese are willing to give it to us, so I think we'll immediately just say, yo, Portugal, give me that knowledge. It's going to cost a bit of money, but we're making quite a bit of money now, so we can definitely afford it. And I guess that solves that issue. Colonialism will now arrive in our lands. And just as I'm saying that, the Portuguese have realized we exist, and they're absolutely livid because of the fact that we didn't tell them where we were going and we faked our deaths. Good thing we asked for that knowledge sharing before this event, because now they hate us. But I mean, who cares if the Portuguese hate us? I don't care about their opinions or thoughts. It looks like Aragon has beaten Castile, which isn't really surprising, but they've gone on to form Spain. I guess this time around we're going to have a Aragonese Spain instead of the usual Castilian Spain. There, we've managed to seal up the northern coast. Now no one can intrude here. We've also managed to cut off the Spartans from going further north. They can still get up on the coast, though, so we'll need to kind of prioritize getting up that coast ourselves. You may notice I'm ignoring a lot of these internal native states. That's intentional. I kind of prefer to ignore them and let them colonize themselves, and then we can conquer them and steal their colonies. That lets us invest time in colonizing provinces that are of more value. Here we have another one of our Romanic cultures spawning, the Borelians. Borelians? They spawn in these northernmost territories. I think we'll have a few here because this counts as Vinland. There we go. They're nice blue color. We can actually choose to have the local cultures promote into them. And I think we'll do that. I like to have my map very multicolored, as it were. For our next idea, we've really been neglecting military. So it might be worth grabbing a mill idea. Quality is quite good, as it gives us an extra reduction to diplomatic annexation costs, taking into account the 2 edicts with the development and influence ideas. There's something else to be said for going for another admin idea, though. Administration also has an edict which reduces diplomatic annexation costs. Our goal, really, for this run is to get diplomatic annexation costs as low as possible so we can integrate the entire world, but that's more of a long-term goal. We could also grab trade. Trade's quite good for us because we have a lot of nodes that we need to push in, but I think we are going to go quality just because we haven't grabbed a mill idea yet, so let this be our first one. It'll also buff our navy a bit, and we're going to need quite a strong navy. Now, here's our first colonial subject. As you can see, they cannot colonize on their own, making them much worse than normal colonial subjects. As such, we'll have to grow them ourselves, which is a little inconvenient, but at the very least they'll build up armies and defend their land and convert it on our behalf. So we'll save a little time and effort in that way. Now we can complete the New Age mission. This presents us with one of our biggest decisions. We can either embrace our status as an Elysian nation, or we can prioritize attempting to liberate Rome. Just based on the current strength of the Ottomans, I think liberating Rome would be fairly difficult. Even if we had gone the Christian route, it would still be fairly difficult, simply because Portugal, our main ally in Europe, in a Christian route, has fallen under England. I'm kind of glad I didn't go Christian, otherwise I'd be feeling pretty salty right now about Portugal's status. So we're going to embrace Elysianism. This is the new Rome here. This will rename us to Elysium. It will change our Romanic culture to Elysian and will lock us off from going down the invasion route until at least the 16th century. It also changes us to this green colour, which looks a little obnoxious, I'll admit. Ooh, Spartania has attacked us. This could go poorly. They're pretty strong militarily. They're actually ahead of us by 2 techs in mil. Whoa. I suppose that does happen. They are one of those sort of nations. We do outnumber them combining all of our vassals, and we're definitely stronger than them navally. I suppose we'll see how it goes. We're just going to have to be careful. They decided to attack us right when we were in the middle of a war against some natives, which is to be expected, honestly. They are one of those cowardly nations that only seems to attack when you're already at war with somebody else. And they called the Vinlanders in as well. I should have seen that one coming. I thought our trade deal would be enough to keep them from attacking. It usually is, but I guess not this time. The Vinlanders have had enough. We'll have them concede the land they have in South America here. We can hand that over to our colony. We're also going to take a few of their provinces in the Caribbean. They'd be much better under our benevolent rule after all. Now for the true enemy though, Spartania. They've managed to spread up quite far towards our capital, but we haven't actually engaged them yet in battle. Let's see how we do. I'm not holding up much hope when it comes to easy victories, but maybe we can blunt their advance a little. Ooh, now Spain has declared war on us as well. This is one of those everyone jumps you moments. Hopefully we can overcome it though. I'm honestly not that scared of the Spanish, despite them, being the Spanish. Funnily enough, when it comes to the Spartanians, we're actually a lot better than them when it comes to discipline, but they have a lot more morale than us. They have a whole 1.8 more morale. And that's, well, it's not winning them the battles. We're winning more battles than we're losing. It means our morale doesn't replenish fast enough to fight them back to back like that. We don't necessarily need to do much damage to the Spartanians. If we can just take the war goal off them, that would reduce their war score by a lot, perhaps even enough that we can fight them to a white peace. We might not be able to get a white peace though, we'll have to see. We might have to accept taking something resembling a loss. I like to think we don't need to though. Surely we just need to power through and overcome them. And now Britain has declared war on us. I'm honestly surprised they didn't try something sooner. We do have quite a large navy, so we could fight these guys. We definitely have more heavy ships. It's on light ships we kind of fall short, and of course they have a lot of transport ships. Problem is, of course, we're not just fighting the English and Portuguese navies, but the Spanish and Spartanian ones, which makes things a little harder. But we'll see if we can't just beat them back one at a time. If we can, then surely we'll be able to protect our lands. What has the war goals been declared for? It looks like the English want this province here. That's quite good. We should be able to defend it quite easily just with our navy. The Spanish have actually declared war for this province, but I think it was a colony and they raised it. So none of us are getting any ticking war score for that, but I could just recolonize it to regain the ticking war score. I won't do it right now, obviously, because I can't guarantee they won't just seize it from us, and then they'll have the ticking war score, something we don't want. Spartans are getting close to want to peace out. They're at very low war enthusiasm. If we could just deal more damage, I think they'd be done. The relative strength of alliance is giving them a 28 and their war score. If we get rid of all of their war score, which we're probably not going to, but I mean, hypothetically, if we just keep the war goal unoccupied by them, the war score will tick up for us, and we should be able to kick them out. The problem I'm having is I can't seem to catch the Spartanians. They're too fast. Even though we would beat them in fights, they just keep running. With that in mind, maybe it's better to not even try to catch them and just focus on holding the war goal until they've decided they've had enough. Maybe we could even, let's lure them in. If they think they can occupy some of these provinces nearby, do the war goal. we can lure them in and should just be able to beat them back. Stack wiping these smaller stacks, of course, isn't going to do much for us war score-wise, but it may just weaken their army and make them feel like maybe they should just make peace. I'm not really sure why Britain declared war on us. They've done nothing against us so far. And we're gaining ticking war score from occupying the war goal. Maybe we'll win that war without actually having to fight them. It could just be they underestimated the strength of our navy. Or maybe they thought they could actually make some gains because our navy would be distracted. But I mean, I haven't seen the English navy so far. There's the Spanish navy. But since the English navy hasn't revealed itself, it doesn't seem like they're attempting any sort of landing. Ooh, they're very close to sieging down Elysium. We're too far away to really help. We could hire some mercenaries. They don't actually have any general sieging. Could we make peace right now? We're 35 off. If we wanted to give them peace, we'd have to give up this land. I mean, this land isn't very valuable to us, but I'd rather not let the Spartanians make any progress anywhere, if that makes sense. So let's hire the Grand Company, give them a minute to replenish some morale, hope that they don't take Elysium on this 14. Nope, perfect. And then let's see if we can push back these siegers. Nope, but we did kill enough of them that their siege has now cancelled. Well, not cancelled, but it's on the not happening phase because they don't have enough men, which is more than what we could ask for. So if we just bring our guys back, let another month pass so they gain more morale, and then attack. And there we go, completely annihilated them. The main reason they have such high war score is from occupying all of these provinces, but it's going to take a while to siege them, well, or liberate them, as it were. But as long as we keep waiting, the war score will keep ticking up in our favour. We should just be able to defeat them. At this point, we've kind of beaten them militarily. They do have a lot of soldiers roaming around, but in battles, we just win. So as long as we keep pushing them back and holding the war goal, or not, it looks like they're bringing a lot of their soldiers together here to beat us. We might have to make peace now. Let's think about this. They've just beat us back. They're going to occupy the war goal again. Manpower-wise, we basically have none. I think we're just going to give something up. I really don't want to. I'm not a give up provinces sort of guy. I don't like it. But I think we're going to give them these few provinces. We'll retake them in the future, surely. I'll remember this, Spartania. Now we can turn our attention to those foolish Europeans who thought they could just swoop in while we were disadvantaged. And I mean, they could have swooped in, and I mean, they did. They just didn't have much success with their swooping. The British are pretty much already done. We just need to build up more war score, and they probably need to lose some war enthusiasm. The Spanish are going to be the separate issue, though, but they're a lot weaker than the English. So it should be simpler to deal with them. At the very least, when it comes to naval battles, we completely destroy the Europeans. It was a good idea investing in such a large and powerful navy. I don't feel good about it, but I actually stopped my recording and forgot to record the part where we beat England. Suffice to say, just occupying the capital of their subject here gave us the war score to annex all of their territory in the Caribbean. Now we're just trying to beat back the Spanish. I've decided I want to continue the war and potentially drive the Spanish out of the region. It's more of a matter of, can we, than anything else. We can see they're deploying quite a large troop here to Cuba. This could be good, because it means if they're here on Cuba, they won't be here in Colombia. But at the same time, if we can, I'd like to catch that navy and exterminate. Oh, they managed to land just as we arrived. That's too bad. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's better that they're trapped there, as I said. And we can destroy their navy in that battle anyway. You can have Cuba Spanish. I, hopefully, I'm going to grab your holdings in Colombia. Or Venezuela, I suppose. Let's transport over our grand... Oops. I left them behind. I'm missing a few ships. That's why. Bring over our few transport ships. You know what? Maybe we should try and kill these guys that are here in Cuba, since they are kind of trapped with no way out. Let's send in the army. They have so much more morale than us. Looks like they've had some events that increase their morale. That's going to make it hard for us to win, even if they don't have a general, which they don't. And they're also 2 techs above us in mill. That's bad. It doesn't like we're going to be able to beat them here. We could just embrace right now the printing press and tech up. Let's do that, actually. Tech up once. That puts us at least 1 tech near to them, and it gives us that military tactics that is oh so valuable. Let's try it again. Doesn't look like they want to fight us this time. Yep, there goes one of the armies. We'll go for the next one, and there they go. They still have a lot of troops, though, here in the Colombia/Venezuela area. I'm not feeling confident we'll be able to beat them, but I suppose we should at least try, right? You can't fault someone for failing, but you can fault them for not trying. All of these soldiers are just mercenaries we hired from our war with the Spartanians anyway. So they might as well get some use out of them. Now let's occupy the war goal and see where that puts us. Puts us on 1, which is pretty nice. We could just wipe peace now, but let's keep fighting a little. See if we can't get above 1. This fight's a little bit more even now when it comes to the stats, though not when it comes to the numbers. We're definitely on the stronger point number-wise. We're able to beat them. Hypothetically, we could just sit on the war goal and let war score tick up, but I prefer taking the fight to the Spanish. Although I suppose they are Aragonese in this timeline, not our usual Castilian Spanish, so I don't think I should hold a bigger grudge against them. We've actually managed to do it. I'm a little shocked, honestly. Part of me didn't think the Spanish would be so weak, but they are. We'll take all of their land. They're going to be able to keep these 2 Brazilian provinces, because we can't demand they concede them because we don't have a colony in the region, which is an annoyance, but, we could come back for them later. One thing we could do is we could do it like this, but the problem is if we do it like this, I think it's going to be too expensive. Looks fine to me. Is there anything we're missing? I don't think so. I guess we'll do that then. We'll fully purify the region, remove the Spanish from the area, or Aragonese, take those 2 extra provinces they have, and now we're finally at peace again. Most of this land will immediately get handed over to our vassal. Hopefully they can handle it. We've had quite a few revolts at home, so we'll need to go back and deal with those. We did manage to continue our colonizing efforts, though. We're getting close to having fully sealed off the Elysium continent. The Portuguese and their English masters are really just seizing control of South America, though. There hasn't been much we could do to stop them. We may be able to expand south into Peru and maybe protect those lands by taking them for ourselves, of course, from the Portuguese/English menace. But for now, though, I think we'll leave the video here. Just need to clean up these few revolts, and then we'll continue next time. So thank you for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.